to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms, beloveds. We really want to thank every single person that has subscribed to the channel. We appreciate, love you so much. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah. And don't forget that, we do have an amazing Patreon family where we do share more information, so you can definitely consider joining for as little as $2 a month. As everything that is unfolding around the world with the pandemic, how people are being forced, the global agenda is just being rolled out, the New World agenda is being rolled out. It's our overstanding and understanding of what is going on that is going to liberate this world, because this is a mental world first, beloveds, and we create this physical world through our mental, through our thoughts, through, where we place our attention, through the kind of conversations we have and the narratives we support with our energy. That is what is creating and defining this world, much more than the people who we think are powerful or at the top kind of dictating things. They are a very they play a very small role in what is happening compared to the global energy of the majority of people buying into the Babylon story. And the people in control are just a few wizards who are being supported by extraterrestrial beings. And extraterrestrial just means not of this earth. There are certain spirits that are using them, just like the Most High and the guardian angels and great, powerful spirits of light can use us. There is also those powers of, I hate to call it darkness, powers of wickedness can use others, and they have been using others. But what these people do, they can't control the masses, but they can manipulate the thoughts of the masses to mind control the masses. But it's something they have to constantly redo. And that's what this whole double Big Mac situation is about, beloveds. It's about now it's harder to control people from the outside and from the environment. They have to go in. And I think the biggest lie about why we all got involved in this game to begin with was after World War II. They created the United Nations. What was it called first? It had another name. It's escaping world something of, I can't remember. Let me not even, I don't know why it's just escaped my mind, but it eventually turned into the United Nations, which is literally was the beginning of the agenda for the New World Order. And it was telling, and the way they convinced all these nations to join the United Nations was by talking about how they were there for world peace. And they wanted to make sure something like World War II never ever happened again. And they had the interests of the people at heart. And they wanted to be able to make sure that they could feed the world and everyone had running water and everyone had this and everyone had that. So that was the campaign. That was the messaging that people got to come into organizations like the United Nations, like the World Health Organization, like the Food and Agricultural Organization, like the World Trade Organization, which basically, once you sign and become a part of them, just like with YouTube, for example, you have to follow their community guidelines, whether their community guidelines fit the interests or the objectives or your nation or not. And usually the community guidelines have been designed by the nations, by the Babylon nations, who were the original architects of this. And it was done with wizards in the background, beloveds, who knew that what is happening right now, was the end game when the United Nations was created 100 years ago or whenever. They knew this was the end game. Because through the United Nations, because of everyone joining them, they were able to put an office in every country. Then they created the United Nations Children's Education Fund, the United Nations Population, I think something Population Fund, UNFPA. So they created all these different agencies to govern the ideas, the ideologies, and the agendas of globally. So then that's how we saw family planning coming in, where they came and told Africans we're having too many children and we needed family planning. It was all under this UN Fund for Population agenda or something like that. Anyway, you can see it here. It was all to fund that. So then they came and said, okay, you guys, now you need to introduce family planning because Africa's going to be overpopulated. There's going to be too many black people. Which, when you drive around Africa, there's so much bare land that you wonder where is the overpopulation happening? Like, am I missing something? That's when now, the whole GMO agenda and foreign foods entered our market, because with the World Food Program, where engineered famine they would bring the solution to engineered famine and introduce like the leftover grain, the surplus grain, and basically food that they didn't need to our people, which was not nutritious, etc., etc. But it all started by saying they wanted world peace, when it's always been about world interest, beloveds. It's never been about I and I. It's never been about bringing any kind of abundance or order to this world. They literally don't have the power because they're not coming in to give anything. They're coming to take. And they've always come to take. They've always come to Babylon to take. They came to earth to take. They manifested here to take. They manifested here to destroy, steal, kill, and destroy. And they tell us. But they try and flip everything and make it seem like we're the devil. We're the evil ones. What if darkness is God and light is Satan, beloveds? Anyway, let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? The way that we bring down Babylon faster, or the way we dismantle this entire world matrix or world patrix, is by overstanding what the agenda has been all along. Because once you identify it, then it starts to crumble on itself, because it relies on being hidden. It relies on being partially understood. It relies on, cloak and dagger tactics, where, presenting yourself in peace, where you've really come, in hate, in destruction, to control, to own, to dominate. But you try and make it seem like you've come with good intentions, when that's not the line. And that has been, you see, because beloveds, what we're fighting, we wage war not against flesh and blood, not against the gates of this world, but against spiritual principalities. There are spirits that are feeding this, and they have the same characteristic, whether they're among the Mzungus or whether they're among the Oreos and the coconuts around us. They all have the same characteristic, where they can't create nothing. Or if they want to create something, it's like they have to destroy something. They have to destroy in order to create. They can't just purely create. They have nothing to give and nothing to offer. They actually, quite the contrary. They need so much from us, beloveds, which is why they created this entire world in the skies of our minds that doesn't even exist. And that's the whole agenda of Facebook, and I'll definitely get into that. But we need to just see everything from the statements that Biden makes and moron, what's his name, the prime minister of France, I can't remember his name anyway, to all these things that Babylon leaders are saying. We need to look beyond that to what they're doing and what they're doing behind the scenes. And if you seek those truths, you will find them, beloveds. They will appear to you. And the first thing is to look at everything from the point of interest. When Germany says they want to donate $10 million to Namibia, why? Ask why. When the divided kingdom says they want to, help the conservancy and they want to train up our army and they want to set up this and set up that, these are not benevolent people. They have nothing to give. So why? What are they coming to take? Because whatever they're giving, they're coming to take 10 times that. Because the world is run by interest, beloveds, and not by peace or the idea of achieving peace. Peace is not something you achieve. It's a state. It's a state of being. It's a state of mind. It's a state of spirit. But we're told that everything that happens and the reason the world even interacts is for world peace. And they'll throw that world peace and world insecurity in your face the minute you fall out of line, which is what we're witnessing with Ethiopia, beloveds. The world is not run. It's not in our interest. The agenda is not world peace, but the interests of various countries that come in peace, but really they've come to steal, kill, and destroy. And when we start seeing people for who they really are and stop romanticizing the enemy, which is what he's done for himself. I mean, you've seen with the latest show, Lucifer. I don't know if you guys have caught that TV series, where they try and make Lucifer this sarcastic kind of like, hard partying, baller who has eyeliner. But it's not, the world is run by interest. And it's run in what's hidden is what's running the world. It's those that are in hiding that are running the world. Because if you really saw them, you'd never, ever accept it. That's why people hide. I mean, now they've come up with the mask. It's all about hiding who's really behind what, beloveds. And so whenever you read a news article, whenever you're engaging in any kind of media, whenever you're listening to any of these leaders giving any speech, ask yourself what interests are at play. And that will show you what's really going on. Because if you're trying to look for, a country that's trying to bring peace and stuff, nah. That's the greatest illusion. Until next time, tuko pamoja.